Thank you. Whoa. Ladies and gentlemen, before we actually start the thing itself, before we actually do the sort of talking, the bits you've come to see, the talking part, the actual real talking, you know. No, wait a minute. I wanted to say a few words before I actually start the actual speaking itself. Yes. I tell you why, because... What? No. No. The thing, I'll tell you why, ladies and gentlemen, because when I left... It was bitter out this morning. It was bitter out. And I came down from the other side of Hammersmith in London. I don't know if you know Hammersmith. Yeah, and we came by the Olympia. And I was feeling very nervous, very jittery. And I was. And it was miserable. It was bitter out, and it was miserable, you know. And I was feeling very sort of like this. And then we came down the M4 past London Airport. And M1, I'm talking about the M1, past the Watford Gate. I was getting more and more nervous, you know, jittery. And it was bitter it was out. And you know, it was miserable. And I got here about an hour, well, 4 hours ago or something like that. And I've been sitting in my dressing room. There's a dressing room behind there, those things, curtains, and this, you see, you can tell I'm a sort of nervous wreck. And I was, you know, getting very, all on my own, mind you, all on my own, just me there in this room all alone. And I felt very, very nervous because I know what you're saying to yourselves. You're saying to yourselves, dear God, this is a nice way to start a show. Surely he can't be asking for sympathy. Well, the answer is most definitely yes, I am. And I'll tell you why, ladies and gentlemen, that tonight I realise that what I've got for you tonight is completely unsuitable. Did you see that notice on the way in, that notice? Frankie Howerd with his brilliant, scintillating wit. Do you see that? Well, I mean, I know what I'm going to do. You see what I mean? And you can imagine how embarrassed I feel. Brilliant, scintillating wit. And they're putting some of this on television as well. No wonder I got nervous. I thought to myself, what shall I do? Shall I come out here and try and bluff it out? Hope you won't notice. Then I thought, no, you're too bright. You're from Birmingham, you'll tumble to it. No. You'll tumble to it in 30 seconds, it's not right, you see? And because you're too smart, and I thought it was... And actually, I felt sorry for you. I really did. I did feel sorry, because I know you've paid good money, and I know some of you have come from quite a distance, and I'm very grateful to you, I really am. And I felt very sorry for you, and then I thought to myself, I don't know why I'm feeling sorry for you, because after all, if you don't like it, you can always get up and go home and get out, you know. At least you can go to a pub or something, where I'm stuck here for the night, come what may. And the thing is this, I signed a contract. They call it a piece of paper called a contract. Now, there is an equity ruling. I don't know if you know, but equity is the actors' trade union. I don't know why they call it equity, because they're always rowing with each other. They're always rowing. Never mind, it's called equity. And it's an equity ruling that you cannot cancel a show unless there are more people on the stage than there are in the audience. This is true, I swear this is true. No, this is true. If there was more of us up here than you see we could cancel the show. But as you can see, this is no Miss Saigon or Phantom of the Opera. It isn't even Hinge and Bracket, really. It's just more or less just me. So it means that while one of you is prepared to stick it out, no, wait a minute, I'll rephrase that, wait a minute, no. Get out. No. How dare you defile these hallowed precincts? No, while one of you is prepared to sit and cope with it, it means I have to try and trudge my way through it somehow, grind my way through it. And as they say, there's always one. There's always one of me could be snoring his head off, drunk to high heaven, bored, stiff, just come out the weather, you know, because it's bitter out. He could have come, you know. But while he sits here, it means I'm going to try and grind my way through it somehow, try to way through it somehow. And this is the trouble, you see. When I first started in my career, well, when I first got... No, shut your face. When I first started, I used to do, a stand-up comic on the variety theatres. We had our variety acts. There was jugglers and impressionists, and they still are, of course, singers and dancers and stand-up comics, as I say. And we did our acts in these variety theatres, the Hippodromes, the Palaces, the Empires, and they all closed, they all folded, or took ballet instead, but they mostly... they turned over to ballet instead, otherwise they all folded. So us variety acts, went into clubs, mostly in the north of England, some big clubs, about 1,000-seater. And we did the same stuff there, same acts. Then they all folded. Now, wait a minute, now you may think this is not entirely a coincidence, but the point was, it really was. So now, we're left with three things. We are left with fringe theatres, little theatres, telly, and working men's clubs. Now, I've been doing a tour, 3-month tour, of working men's clubs north of Birmingham. And this is the point, that in these working men's clubs, you see, they don't like it what you might call highbrow. Do you understand? No, nothing highbrow, no. No, nothing intellectual, no. No human behaviour or depth or anything like that. And oh no. They, no. So tonight, you may find some of the gags a bit on the corny side. Well, you will. Well, they are. But even if you think they're corny, for God's sake, try and force yourselves if you can. And the thing is, I thought, if you could help me and try and hypnotise yourselves, try and brainwash yourselves into thinking that you're a coach party from a working men's club. Come down to my level, you understand? Get common like me. Rid your mind of all thought. Yes, don't want us to think, otherwise, it's going to be murder for both of us, you and I, all of us. So, if you could do that, working men's club. Now, oh yes, there's only one thing more. In these working men's clubs, what we have usually is a group, an orchestra, a group, something to what we call play a song. Play on music, we call it. You know, they play something, you know, there's no... And on retreat, you understand, it's trying to get a bit of atmosphere, a bit of something going, you know. And, well, as you can tell, there's no group here tonight. And I suppose we're lucky well, they put some curtains in, I suppose they flashed out for that. But there's nothing else. There's no orchestra or group. And so, I've got the old standby, by the way. My play on is Happy Days Are Here Again. You know, the old standby. Happy days are here again. La 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 la. And I was wondering, in your mercy, if you could la me on. Thank you. Let's try to buck things up a bit, you see. So let's just try that. Shall we try it? See if we can get it. That's right. All right, go. La 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 la. Well, it's not exactly the last night of the proms, is it? But never mind. We'll make do, yes. All right, so I think we're ready to start now. I'll get the appliance now. This. And you can lower the blind, if you will. That's right, lower the blind. That's it. That's right, here we are. All right, and, well, we'll have the moon on. We'll have the moon on now. That's it. Right, go. La la. Thank you. Thank you. Ladies, thank you. Ladies, thank you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, oh no, Mrs. No, oh no. You notice the difference now? You see the difference? All the comedy's coming out now, you notice that? What do you mean about time? Oh, naughty. They're mocking Francis. They could be so hurtful. Mocking Francis. This is your Francis? That's my maiden name. Yes. Naughty. They could be so hurtful. Well, now, ladies and gentlemen, before we start this... Nothing is in its right place tonight. Now, listen. Are you the same, missus? Well, wriggle, dear, wriggle. Don't sit there in agony. Nothing worse, your panties out of focus. Just like... Poor soul. No. What? Now, listen. Now, before we... What? No, don't. Oh, don't make mock. You're making mock of Francis. Naughty. Now, before we start this little Ice Tedford, I want to make a little appeal to you. I want to make an appeal, but it's not an appeal for money. You're all right, you've been robbed as it is. No, it's not... It's an appeal for you and your mercy to try and laugh as much as you can at the jokes. Otherwise, you feel a fool stuck up here if nobody bothers. You know how you feel yourselves in the same predicament. I tell you why I ask, because some people like to enjoy it inwardly. You can see their chests heaving. And you can't hear a damn thing. Now, a room full of heaving chests. What? Oh, it's very nice to look at. And it can put a... Yes. And it creates a draft, which can be a godsend. But it's no good for laughs. And I said before, you may find some of the gags a bit on the corny side, but even if you think they're corny, for God's sake, try and force yourselves. And if you can't laugh out right, it isn't always easy of a cold Sunday, because it's bitter out now. Oh, bitter. You're better off in the however bad it is. Now, the thing is, I want things. Not... Now, the thing is, if you can't laugh out, try and, if you can, to force some titters. If you can force titters, big titters, small titters. Let us not go home titterless. That's right, missus. Get your titters out, girl. Come on, go on. Let's have the whole place. Let's have the whole place throbbing with titters. That's right. Oh, I love my titters. Your Francis loves his titters. Oh, I'm a right tittermonger, me. Titter mad I am. And look at her sat there, Mrs. Toffee-Nose. Look at her. Oh, bloody edge bastard, look at her. Oh. Oh. She's saying, I do hope he's not going to be vulgar. I know your type, dear, all fur coat and no knickers, so don't sit there stopping us, mate. No, I was... Oh, Mrs.? No, the lady with the moustache. That's right, Mrs. No, don't. Don't laugh. It's wicked to mock the afflicted. Mrs., do you know what big titters are called? The big titters are called chortles. Chortles would go... When your bra starts to pinch and your corsets start to get loose. Because the best of all, this is, the best of all is you can manage it at guffaws. You bend double, you see. And when you straighten up, you find your bra and your corsets have changed places. That's about. Now, if you can't force titters or chortles or guffaws, it isn't always easy for a cold Sunday, because it's bitter out now, you know. I'd be grateful if you could try and force a smile. Nothing worse than looking down, someone's glaring up at you like that. You don't know whether they're foreign or defiant. If you could smile, show your teeth, let's have rows of gleaming... I tell you why, we have to say on the stage, laugh, clown, laugh. Laugh, clown, laugh. Rise above our sorrow. So if you could smile, show your teeth, let's have... Just show them, dear, don't hand them round like a girl. What's a funny woman? Poor soul, she's on a day trip from Sutton Coldfield, aren't you, girl? Coming to see a bit of nightlife, haven't you, love? Poor soul, it's a shame. Anyway, oh, excuse me. Oh, God, unborn visitors from Sutton Coldfield. They can half move, don't they? No wonder shepherds watch their flocks by night. How dare you? What are you looking so miserable about? He hasn't cracked a smile yet. Oh, dear, we're saying, we pay good money for this. See, that's it. What's your name, sir? What's your name, sir? Yeah. Tony, you're naughty. Where do you come from, anyway? All these people, I had to pick on you. Tony. Well, anyway, let's take it. Shake hands. Don't be frightened. Come nearer. That's it. Oh, God, what have they been? Where have they been? You're not telling me. I hope you're telling somebody. Oh, it's clammy. Clammy. Oh. Listen, excuse me. Come here a minute. Would you mind? Thank you. No, Tony. Better. What, you know something, you're naughty. You're naughty, you are. What are you?
Naughty.
No. Naughty. Naughty. That's it. That's it. Thank you. You're naughty. That's it. Thank you, Tony. Yes, he's naughty. He's also bloody stupid, too. Now, listen, don't. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. Oh, I feel terrible now. Oh, I'm full of remorse, Tony. Especially for Edgbaston, I'm so sorry. Listen, I'm going to move around a bit now, makes the act look more. I'm very surprised. Actually, I didn't expect to be up here at all this time, about 5 weeks ago, you know. It was very funny, really, because I was sitting at home one night, sitting at home watching the telly. Nothing on, mind you, but you get used to that position, don't you? And the phone rang. The phone rang. I thought to myself, hello? I thought, hello? The phone hath rung. Oh, whom can it be? It can't be my agent, because he thinks I'm dead. Now, who can it be? So I picked up this phone, and this high-pitched voice came through. Oh, Peter Todd here, theatre director, Birmingham. Todd. I said, oh, yeah, would you mind holding on a trice? I said, maybe 2 trices, maybe 3 trices. But I said, not a trice more. So I put the phone down, you see, and I put up the settee, the sofa, and I poured myself out a glass of Campari, because I thought the camp went with the voice on the other end of the phone. So I said, excuse me. I said, I'm so sorry. Now, what can I do for you, sir? He said, he was livid. He said, how dare you keep me waiting? He said, this is Peter Todd here, theatre director, Birmingham Hippodrome, ballet and all that. Oh, I said, I beg your pardon. I said, I'm so sorry. I said, as a matter of fact, I thought this was an obscene phone call. I said, and I get so few these days. I said, I might as well sit back and enjoy it. He said, do I sound like the kind of man who make obscene phone calls? So I said, well, I said, let me hear you breathe in and out a couple of times. Let me hear you pant. Anyway, he did not a titter. Titterless. Titterless! Oh, dreary. No sense of humour. Not the slightest. Conversational limbs like wading through treacle. Anyway, I said, well, what can I do for you, sir? This is Peter Todd. I said, what do you... He said, could you pop round to see me? So I said, where are you? He said, I'm in the club. I nearly said to him, working men's Christmas or pudding. I thought, better not. No sense in wasting good gags on him. So I went... Oh, mocking Francis, Tony. Mocking Francis. They can be so hurtful. So I went to see him in his club, and not in Birmingham. Oh, no, this is in London. You know London, Tony? A bit. Well, do you know Old Bond Street? No, it didn't matter, because it wasn't there. I didn't know. There's New Bond Street. And this Peter Todd was, you know, he was there, and this man who runs the thing. And he was very charming. Oh, he was very charming. In fact, for one moment, I thought he was going to ask me in. And... Here, I'll tell you something. Strange place. Don't you go there. Oh, no, you don't. God help us, I've heard of rubber gloves and whips. But lawnmowers, I mean, where? Where do they put the clippings, one wonders. So, anyway, we were standing there chatting on the pavement. Oh, God, my name is getting terrible. What's the man's name? Did I say? Peter Todd. Oh, you know him? I wondered, best seat, front row. And, well, none of my business. Anyway, the thing is that, we were standing there, you know, me and Tony's friend, Peter Todd, on the pavement, chatting. And he said to me, Todd, yeah, Peter. And, he said to me, what are you doing, he said, the end of June. He said, are you working? Are you busy? So I said, well, no. He said, no, I guess not. So he said, well, I was wondering if you'd like to come to Birmingham and give us a turn. That's what I thought too, cheeky devil. I said, do you mean produce some titters? Little titters? Tittermongering? Some quips from the quipperies? Ah, well. I said, well, I thought if I stuttered long enough, you might mention money. But the lips were pursed. Oh, I thought to myself, never mind, nice. I haven't been up here for some time now. I mean, I come to see dear old Birmingham. I'd just be in time for the monsoon season. And so I thought, anyway, nice here, nice there. It's somewhere to practice. So I thought, I'll come up here. And anyway, I got it. What time we get in? About, yes, supper's 6, yeah. And Tony's friend, Peter, was dusting all the seats, a little feather duster, a little flowered pinny. And that's what I thought, too. And I don't care anyway. People live their own lives, don't they? People live their own lives. I don't care. No, do you? I don't mind. No, I don't. You know, people have their own lives to lead. As I say, as long as they leave me alone, And they do. But I mean, how dare you? How very, very dare you? They can be so hurtful, Tony. Anyway, this man, your friend, Peter Todd, here, I want you, because he's as common as muck. Here, I mean, honestly, it's uncouth. Terrible, shocking. I can't think what you see in the man, I really can't. Anyway, he said, I want you. So I said, yes, sir. So he said, what are you going to give us? So I said, what do you mean? What am I going to give you? He said, in this concert. I said, I dare say I shall do something titterable. Well, he said, I hope so. We don't want the usual rubbish, we want something good. This is a first-class theatre. He said, we get everybody comes here, the cream of the county. He said, we get the jet set, and he said, we get the lot. He said, I want the best. I get the best. He said, I intend to go on getting the best, because he thinks he's God. Oh, he thinks he's God. Well, it's so silly, there's so many of us. So I said, well, look. I said, I'll get up here on this little scaffold, and I said, I'll do a couple of gags. I said, you tell me if it's right, because you want to do your best coming all the way, don't you, up the M6, past the Watford Gap and everything. And he was sitting, well, that lady's over there. So I said, well, look, see if this is what you want. This is the sort of thing you want. See, it's a good one, this. You'll die. You'll die. Die. Now, here we are. Go. Two women talking over a pram. The first woman said, isn't your baby small? The other woman said, oh, well, I've only been married a fortnight. Hello? 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 They haven't gone, have they, Tony? You let me know if they creep out once, you forgot. I shall feel a fool stuck here on my own. Well, just you and I, it'd be silly. Right, now, I'm not going to give in. I'm not going to give in. Here we are. You'll try it. Here you'll die. It's a good one, this. You'll die. Now, what? No, listen. This man goes in this shoe shop, see, to get a pair of new shoes. And it's a new shoes. Actually, he wants to... now, there's this... No, what? No, there's steps there, ladders, you see, this assistants up the ladder, pulling these boots and things out, this new thing, you see. And so this man, with these new shoes, and he's so good followers, all right, can't you, Tony? Are you sure? It's a bit sophisticated, this. Now, he said, excuse me, assistant, he said, the left shoe doesn't fit. So the assistant said, have you tried it with the tongue out? He said, oh, no. No sympathy. I'm not going to give in. Let us pray. Oh, Almighty Father, look down on these thy servants here in the Hippodrome, Birmingham. Endow them with a sense of humour. Enable them to produce their titters in abundance. Now, it's a good one. You'll die now. It's a good one. Now, this vicar in the vestry with the verger, and he said to this, he was thinking about his sermon, you know, for the Sunday morning, his sermon, the subject for his sermon. And so he said to this verger, he said, I don't know, I think I shall take for my subject the widow's mite. So the verger said, I don't think I'd bother, sir. He said, there's only two in the village, and they both do. It's bucking up, Tony. It's bucking up. Now, this will clinch it. Oh, this will clinch it. This is the one. You'll die. Now, sir, where do you come from? Northfield. Now, what's that field near you? Oh, not Northfield. Is there a field near you? Pardon? I shall make one up. Where do you come from, sir? What's your name? Pardon? Michael. Where do you come from? Aldridge. Well, Michael, what's the field near you? Boney Hayfield. You made it up. Well, no, you're a godsend. So, what's your name? Michael. You see, why couldn't you have done what Michael did? Oh, I don't want to say they're so hurtful. What's your name, anyway? Peter, don't go, we might need you. So, Mike. Anyway, Boney Hayfield. Anyway, this man... It'll spoil the joke, you know. There won't be any sense to it. Now, this man is pushing this railway carriage up and down Boney Hayfield. See, it's stupid, this, isn't it? A whole railway carriage, and it was miserable, it was bitter out. Bitter out. Up and down this street with this railway carriage, and I don't mean just the compartments, the corridors and all the, you know. Yeah, up and down the Boney Hayfield. So I said, excuse me. I said, what the hell are you doing? Oh, he said, I have to keep it on the move. He said, the wife's in the toilet. Oh, it's it. Oh, thank you, Michael. God bless you. Now, you've tittered very well. You've forced yourselves very well. But this man, Tony's Peter thing, friend, he was like a thing possessed. The man was like a demented being. He rose to his feet in umbrage in Birmingham. He said, "You can't! You dare try and doze off while I'm on. How dare you?" He said, "You can't give my customers rubbish like that." He said, "For goodness sake, give them something modern." He said, "We have the young people coming here. There are young people," he said. "Modern, they want modern wit, satire, spitting image. You know, politics, bless you. Is politics... Politics. It's changed a bit. Anyway, this has been out in your Bonnie Hayfield, I think. Is it here? Oh, it's him. What was I going to say? What's that for? Oh, that's right. No. My memory's getting terrible these days, Michael, you know. Well, I mean, he said they want satire, spitting image, not the government and the opposition. He said, politics, political wit, he said. That's what they... Well, you know, modern... I mean, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and... Look at that. Wasn't that masterful? Didn't you see that? Please yourselves. Anyway... But you know your Francis. Political wit. What does your Francis know about politics? You're right. The second word is all. You didn't know I could lip read, did you, Tony? He's quite right, though. Nothing at all. You're quite right. I know one thing. I'll tell you one thing. I wouldn't vote for our MP again. Are you kidding? Our MP, cheeky devil. Never there. Never there. No. He's only asked one question in the House. One question. That was the first day he was there. And when he found out where it was never heard of again. No, cheeky devil. Because what makes me laugh, the idea of this Peter thing of the man, you're talking about knocking the government, and he said to me, he said, even you must have heard Neil Kinnock and what's his name, and John Major, he said, and Hailtine and Rushdie. Well, I know Willie Rushdie because he's in that on the television a lot. But I mean, you know, I don't know these, but I don't demean myself with mingling with such persons. In fact, the only Prime Minister I ever met was Edward Heath, about late 70s. Edward Heath, we had this archie-barchie, Teddy and I, over this African problem. See, all the African states wanting UDI. UDI. And for 6 months, I thought it was something to do with United Dairies. I did. Oh, you look at her laughing. It's the first time she's cracked a smile all night. Look. I'll do that. Excuse me, I'll do that again. I did. Look at her laughing. Poor soul. Anyway, Oh, pardon? Yes, of course, love. Yes, sure. I did. What the hell's wrong with the woman? Don't take notice. Ignore her. Don't take notice. Ignore her. They'll take her away during the interval. There's some men in white will come in. Don't ignore her. What's... Oh, yes. No, you're absolutely right. Easter Monday. What? I was out on this cycle rally, and cycle rally can be fun, especially with a loose saddle. And I was passing... Don't get common, don't show us up. Don't show us up sitting up there, the rich in the ashtrays. Don't do that. But anyway, I was passing by Chequers. That's, you know, John Major's country place. I thought to myself, I must pop in. He'd be so hurt. If he thought I was in the vicinity, I hadn't popped in. I told him. I said, John, be very, very careful now, John. Be very careful now. Get inflation down below 4%. And I said, get mortgages down below 3%. And I said, get the next Olympic Games moved to Erdington. I said, bring some trade in the area. I don't think and come do some concerts. I don't think he got the message. No, he didn't get the message. It's very difficult when you're shouting through a letterbox. But I mean, well, what makes me laugh is the idea of me standing here defending a Prime Minister. And it was a Prime Minister that changed my life. I don't mean change like sort of sex change. Oh, no, too painful. Oh, no. Oh, those shears. Whoa. Oh, no, don't. Oh, gone with the wind. Oh, no, don't. Look at her laugh. It's all right for you laughing. You have nothing to lose, have you, dear? Except your handbag. She's clutching that down. No, I'm talking about work. I'm talking about careers. Because, you see, if it hadn't been for well, it changed all our lives. It was a broadcast from a Prime Minister. A broadcast from a Prime Minister changed all our lives. If it hadn't been for a Prime Minister, I wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't have gone on the stage. And you wouldn't have been here to see me, and I'd been very sad about that. But it was a broadcast from a Prime Minister that changed all our lives. September the 3rd, 1939. September the 3rd, 1939, 11 o'clock in the morning, 11 a.m. There was a hush over the whole country. No... Would you give her a Kleenex? Now, there was a hush. There was a hush over the whole country. No such undertaking having been received, His Majesty's government has had no alternative but to declare war on Germany. Stupid. It was stupid. There was only about 600 in the government, including the Speaker. Now, what chance do they have against Germany? Will you tell me? No. And so they had to drag us all in. And like all wars, it could all have been avoided. It could all have been avoided. I mean, all we had to do was surrender. Well, all my family did, yes. 1 minute past 11, we all had our hands up. Of course, the war dragged on, so he took them down again eventually, but, well, you can't go the whole war like that. You feel stupid. They took you prisoner. But, of course, the war that's gone now, and we have peace and reconciliation now with Germany. Peace and reconciliation. And there's Gorby talking to Bushy, that's peace and reconciliation. Who knows? Oh, there's the East Germany talking to West Germany now. So you break it out, peace, thank God, peace and reconciliation. As a matter of fact, No, well, I've done my bit in my own small way, you know. I've tried in my own way. Peace and reconciliation, I thought I'll start with the neighbours. I'll tell you something, you laugh, that's hard going. God help, especially her next door. Oh, what? No, wait, listen, how can I describe her? A cow. No, she's all, madam, you know, yes, I have to laugh at her sauce. You know, she's all, it comes from nothing, you have to laugh at her. It comes from nothing, makes me laugh. But she's had this flu, this thing going around, it's the weather, of course, because it's bitter out. And she was, I thought to myself, I'll make a gesture of peace and reconciliation, I'll go around and see how she is. She had there's always something going around, isn't there? She had this virus, so I went round and popped round next door. And I must say she looked all right, she was sitting in an armchair. I said, how are you? She said, oh, I'm much better now, thank you. I thought, myself, I know you are, I can see you are. She was stuffing herself with ice cream. I thought, oh dear, stomach goodness, well, never mind. So I said, look, I want to tell you something, if I may. I said, I'm glad you're better, but I said, that's really an excuse. Because I said, I've just come in to say hello, really, because I said, you know, I've not been a good neighbour, I said to her. I haven't been a good neighbour, it's no good saying I have. I said, I know you may think I'm a bit of a loudmouth, but I said, actually, I'm rather shy underneath. He said, I don't like to push myself forward. And I said, but it's wrong. Because well, it is, because I said, you never know when you might need each other. When we might need each other, you never know. And I said, it's wrong. You know, we should be more friendly. It's silly. She said, you're quite right. She said, it isn't all your fault. Of course, it's not all your fault. She said, I'm just as bad. I'm just sort of remote. She said, I'm just as bad. But she said, we must do better. We must be more friendly. So she said, no, wait, don't go. Don't go. She said, what are you doing at the weekend? At the weekend, she said, are you on your own, as usual? So I said, well, yes. She said, well, I guess so. Well, she said, I was wondering if you'd like to come down to Somerset with us, to our little cottage in Somerset. So I said, well, that's very kind. I said, yes. Well, thank you very much. I said, oh, Somerset. Well, I said, who'll be there then? She said, oh, just me and my husband and the little boy, Timothy. Oh, I thought, dear God. Dear God. Oh, what? Oh, he's a horror. I mean, I can't stand him. He gets, talk about Nightmare on Elm Street 15. I mean, it really is, you know, they should build a wire fence around him. It gets, oh, never mind. But I was lumbered. What can you do? What could you do? I mean, I didn't like, so we traced down to Somerset. And you see, I saw this cottage, this tatty little cottage. I thought, dear God, have I come down to this? Oh, so tatty, you know. I thought to myself, I'd been better off at the YMCA. I mean, it was really Bristol or somewhere. I said, oh, but anyway, and she showed me inside, and she showed me to my room. Well, small. The best way to get in is to be born there. And the facilities, the toilette, the loo, the toilet, was this hut at the end of this field. Yeah, longer than your bonny hayfield. Was right, and it was bitter out, you know, it was all weeds and this wooden hut, she calls it a privy. Have you heard of that? I haven't. Have you heard of that, Tony? Privy? No. Well, apparently it's a country word, privy, you see, and this little wooden hut. And behind this hut was a canal. Canal. Of course, you'd guess what happened. In the middle of the afternoon, there was the privy in the canal. I thought, right, I know who's done this. Timothy, come along. So Uncle wants to talk to you. Now, I said, Timothy, tell me something. Did you push that privy in the canal? He said, no. I said, no. Let me tell you a little story about a boy called George Washington. Have you heard of him? George Washington? Well, now. George Washington was a boy who never told a lie. He never told a lie. And one day, he cut down a big cherry tree in the garden, a big cherry tree. And his father said, George, come here. Now, did you chop down that cherry tree in the garden? So George Washington said, yes, Father, I did. So his father said, you're a good boy, George. You've told the truth, and I'm going to forgive you. Don't do it again. And don't do it again. Right. Now, I said, Timothy, did you push that privy in the canal? He said, yes. I gave him such a whack! He said George Washington's father didn't do that. I said George Washington's father wasn't sitting on the cherry tree, was he? Oh, pride. Bawled his eyes out. I had to buy him a computer game. I thought if he tells his dad, a great bruiser of a man, he'll knock me sideways. Anyway, there it is. I don't know what to... Listen, what did you say your name was? I'm sorry. Peter, that's right. Sorry, excuse me. I've got Marshall over there. Do you know London? Do you know Soho? Don't know Soho. Well, do you know, have you heard of it? Do you know what it's known for? What? Well, I'll tell you. It's Soho. It's vice. Would you agree with that? Vice. And it's a vice area, you see. And listen. Well, listen. There were these two prostitutes. Police. You see, the two prostitutes in Soho. One was big, older, and the other. Well, she was the older one was. Well, she was big, but she was also older than the younger one. Are you with me? Because there was two of them. See, a younger one and an older one. And this younger one said, she said, how are you getting on, girl? So this older one said, oh, I'm all right. So the young woman said, where are you living these days? She said, at the same place still, like flats at the back there, flats. The older one said, yes. So the younger one said, tell me something. She said, have you got a lift there now? They put up an elevator in or something. The older one said, no, I haven't got a lift. Oh, the younger one said, dear God. And how many floors? She said, 14 floors. She said, 14 floors? Oh, dear God. Well, she said, one of mine. She said, how is business? Then the older one said, oh, well, that's picking up now. Now we've got some tourists coming back in again. She said, because she said, last night, she said, I had 15 customers. So the younger one said, 15? Oh, dear. Your poor feet. Now, I don't think you've got the crux of the gag, you see. Explain it, will you, Tony? Listen, as you've been such a good audience, I'm now going to give you some better class material because, you've been so... No, you deserve it, because No, not at all. You've been very, very good. I'm very grateful to you. So here we are. This is good. You'll die. Satire. This is satire. This Arab found dead in London, Golders Green. 17 stab wounds. And the Jewish coroner said it was the worst case of suicide he'd ever seen. Now, that's not bad, is it? No. That's not bad. You've heard worse, haven't you? Haven't you? Oh, you work all the nights out to reconcile yourself. No, it's all racial jokes these days, isn't it? Have you noticed that's all racial jokes? Because you're not supposed to be, there's a Public Race Relations Act. We're not supposed to do racial jokes. They never stop. Right? I mean, well, you know this is true. Last 2 years, we've had nothing but Irish jokes, haven't we? Irish gags. The sort of stupid Irish. There's always one race goes through it, Stupid. I mean, in America, it's the Poles. They call them the Polacks over there. They go sort of, they're the ones, I bet you couldn't tell me who goes through it in Russia. This is true, I swear. The police, you wouldn't believe that, would you? But it's true. The police, yeah. They're always making jokes about them losing their way and everything like that. Because, not that I do those kind of jokes. Well, I can't speak Russian for a start, No, I can't, honestly. No, I swear, no, I can't. No, please, I'm asking you to believe, but I'm being sincere now. No, I can't. I can barely speak a few words of English. I don't know about Russian. And I can't do Irish jokes very well because, I can't do the accents. I don't do dialect, what they call dialect accents very well. I must say, I heard a good one last week, I must say. I'm laughing myself and I've heard it. No, it's Paddy in a pub. Paddy, it's always Paddy, isn't it? Never Michael or Tony or Peter, is it? It's always Paddy. Paddy in a pub singing. 10 green bottles are hanging on the wall. 10 green bottles hanging on the wall. And if one green bottle should accidentally fall, there be... Oh, daddy boy, the points are calling. Now, the thing is that... No Irish here, by the way, on this show. Nobody here from Ireland? Oh, clear. 2 Welshmen. 2 Eskimos, then. Go on, you dare. 2 Eskimos in the middle of the Atlantic on an iceberg. One said to the other, Paddy, thank God we're saved. Here comes the Titanic. Now, what's wrong with that lot? They haven't moved a muscle all night, that lot. They're rigid. Why don't you 4 join hands and try and contact the living? Those 4 there. Oh, that's for the giggling. Oh, they're giggling. Giggle pots, they're giggle pots. No, I must say, I don't mind these... of course, it's religious bias, All religious bias, that should be stopped. They're doing that one about that man who goes around taking this Gallup poll about the priests and how they divide their collections after they've done their shows, you know, in the evening, and they've done you know, how they divide their collections. And so he went to the Church of England, Vicar, the Church of England, and he said, Vicar, I wonder if you could tell me, he said, how do you divide your collections? He said, on a Sunday, he said, after you've done the, you know, do you have a method? So the vicar said, well, yes, actually. He said, I get all the money on a table. He said, money on a big table. And he said, I counted out, very fair. That goes to God, that goes to me, that goes to God, that goes to me, that goes to God, and that goes to me, and so on and so forth. So he wrote all these things. Thank you very much. So then he went to see the Catholic father. So he said, now, Catholic father. He said, I'm wondering, he said, if you could tell me about your collection. He said, I've just been to the Church of England Vicar. So we're doing this survey, he said, and I asked him how he divided and he said, well, he said, he had to put it on the table, the pile of money, and that goes to God, and that goes to me, and that goes to God. He's very fair, of course. That goes to God, and that goes to me. And he said, is that did you do all the vicars, the Catholic father said, oh, no. Oh, no. And, you know, he spoke exactly like me. It was extraordinary, really. Yeah, and he said, oh, no. He said, no, we've got no time for all that. No time at all. He said, know what I do? I get a big plate. And he said, I get the lot on a plate. He said, and I get a big carving knife. I go right in the middle. That goes to God. That goes to me. So I said, so now he went to see the Jewish rabbi. And this is where the satire comes in. He said, Jewish rabbi. He said, we're doing this survey. He said, I wonder if you could help us out. He said, I've been to the Church of England Vicar to see how they divide their collections. He said, you know, this guy's got this method. That goes to God, and that goes to me. That goes to God, and that goes to me. And he's very fair, of course. He said, and I went to the Catholic father. And he said, oh, no, no, well, he's got a plate. The money on the plate, he's got a knife, goes right down the middle. That goes to God. That goes to me. Do you... he said, oh, no. He said, no time for all that. No time. He said, no. He said, no, I get the lot on a big plate. He said, I throw it all up in the air. And what stays up goes to God, and what comes down goes to me. Now, that's religious bias. That is religious bias. It shouldn't be countenanced. But mind you, these clubs, I don't mind paying these clubs because, at least they do pay decent money. But the only thing worries me sometimes is, well, it's usually Fridays, it's hecklers. Because the boys, they go out, the pubs are open much later these days, and they go to the pub first, and they come and stand at the back of these clubs, the big, enormous clubs, and they bawl things out sometimes. You know, and you can't hear, well, you can hear, but you can't understand what they're saying. You can't make out, you know. And even if I could hear what they say, I can't think of anything to say back till about 2 hours later on the way home. And it comes to me, instant repartee 2 hours later. I go the next day, a new lot's in, you see? And I don't know, heck no, I'm just, see, the trouble with me is really, because I'm as simple as I look, you know, really. Oh, I don't do much acting, you know. I honestly don't. I'm a bit simple, really, on the whole. I mean, I have to rely on sympathy, you know. You know, being lovable. And must we take a vote on it? Anyway, no, what I mean. And I get people shout things. And I remember one night I was in this club north of Leicester. It was a drinking club, and there was 4 people. There was a table just under. It was where Tony's sitting there. There was this table. There was 2 men, 2 women, and this loudmouth. Drunk. And he never stopped. And I was sweating there. I was sweating like a pig. I was working myself to death, and I could feel my charm oozing away. Sort of. And I tell you, I came to one joke. One joke. Now, this was harmless. Now, you must agree. At least it was inoffensive. I said, there were 2. I said, yes. There were 2 little rabbits. 2 little rabbits, he shouted out. How many rabbits? I said, 2. Not 4, 6, or 8. Wasn't a gangbang. Just 2 little rabbits. Now, I said, these rabbits were chased by all those foxes. He brought out, how many foxes? I said, I don't know. We couldn't count them. Didn't have time. Neither did the rabbits. Two little rabbits chased by all those foxes, and they hid in the doings. I don't say hole. I thought that'll start another outburst if I start back. And one rabbit said to the other, let's stay here till we outnumber them. So this other... So Loudmouth said, and did they? I said, no. The other one said, keep running, you fool. I'm your brother. Now... He went on and on and on. He went on and on. Of course, in the end, I had to stab him. But I mean, it's not... Well, no. But it's... No. I felt terrible next day, you know. I felt shocking. I did. I felt guilty. Because it's an equity ruling, you know. You're not supposed to do that. But the thing is, you see, some people don't care, do they? Now, you know some people, they don't care. They, you know, almost, you know, nothing gets them, nothing phases, the word, isn't it? Phases them. Gloria Hunniford's always cool, calm and collected, you know. There's Jonathan Ross, full, perky. Nothing gets him down, and there's, what's the Loudmouth? Oh, Derek Jamison's on, and, you get John Major and Neil Kinnock bawling each other in the House of Commons, and they sit down and have a good laugh afterwards. And then what is his name? Terry Wogan. He's very what they call laid back. Very laid back. I'll tell you something. I haven't been laid back for 10 years now. It's a damn shame, girl. It's a waste of a good body, I'll tell you. Look, I can't prove it now. Just. At least for the moment. Take my word for it. No, but it's true. And I was reading a book. Oh, he reads a book about a woman, an actress called Mrs. Patrick Campbell. I suppose you've heard of her, but she was a famous actress before the war. And the book's called Mrs. Pat. It's a life story. And she was all there. And she was a friend of George Bernard Shaw, and he wrote for her Pygmalion in the part of Eliza Doolittle. She was the first My Fair Lady, see? But by this time, because she was enormous. She had very ample. She had enough amples for 8. I mean, she carried her own counter. She was very... Oh, yes, and didn't care. Oh, and I had to laugh you to die, the story in the book. She comes out the stage door in London, I think with Wyndham's Theatre or something like that. And she's got this dog, only a little dog in her arm, little dog in her arm like that. And she hailed this taxi. You know, hailed it. A taxi! See? And so this taxi came along. She said, taxi, will you take me to Kennington Street in Chelsea? She said, I beg your pardon? He said, no. She said, oh, may I ask why? She said, yes, you can. But she said, I don't want any dogs in my taxi, he said. She said, you don't want any dogs in your taxi? Oh, I see. Now, let's have a look inside. Will you tell me where it says here, no dogs admitted? And he said, well, it doesn't say, no. She said, that's right, it doesn't say, does it? So in that case, you take me to Kennington Street in Chelsea. Now, get on with it. Dog as well. So he got in this taxi, went to Kennington Street, and she gave him the nice tip. And said, right, thank you, off. And sailed off. And this taxi driver looked back in his taxi and he said, oh, yeah, oh, missus. Missus, your dog's pissed in my taxi. And she turned round, and in a voice heard over the whole street, she said, I pissed in your taxi. Now, will you take the blind up? What we'll have some music now, make a change. And tonight, would you mind, I tell you what, is anybody there, would you mind bringing the piano forward? That's a bit, because that's right. If you'd be good, and put the stool down, that's right. That's it, don't rush, that's all right. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. No, don't clap, they want money, don't. Upmarket louts. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, tonight I'm going to give you a recital, A Night in Old Vienna. Now, I don't know if you like Viennese music. This is songs by Franz Lehar. Oh, you do? Thank you. I'm glad you do, like, music by Lehar and Oscar Strauss and things like that. Oh, God. No, don't take me notice. Ignore it. Don't, Nora, don't, please, I beg of you. Don't, you'll make trouble. Don't. She's a funny woman. She can't hear very well. She's deaf. And she's bitter. She's bitter with her afflictions. A real misery guts. Don't take notice. No, because... Good evening. Oh, she's in a mood tonight. God help us. I know, she's a funny woman. She's a real... She can't play much, you know. No. But I don't need a group, really. I mean, it's a waste of money, really, and she's cheap. That's the main thing. She's cheap, yes. I tell her this is an audition. It's chilly tonight, yes, it's chilly. It's bitter out. I say it's bitter out, yes. Oh, God. No, don't laugh. It might be one of your own. Don't laugh. Poor soul. No, but she says, oh, no, she's a real misery, you know. And, yeah, eh? It is. It's very chilly. She brought your cardigan on, yes? Put your cardigan on. Should be in bed, yes. Oh, she's past it now, really. It's a shame, really. So we'll do a song now. Now, we're going to do a song now. We'll do a song now. Oh, God, she's a burden. Now, she exhausts me. Now, we'll do the aria. We'll do the aria. She doesn't know whether she's done an aria or her elbow. Now, this is a... Don't laugh, you make trouble. It's not worth it with her this weather. Don't ignore her. Mind you, I feel sorry for her. She had a terrible life, you know. Oh, shocking life. Oh, terrible life. I mean, hers is a sad story. Oh, hers is such a sad... Tony, hers is a really sad story. I was saying yours is a sad story! No. What? No, she was reared in captivity. And... No, listen. Don't, because... I was just telling you a sad story! And... No, she was what? She was meant... Don't laugh. She was meant to be a nun. Of course, she is. She had none. For years, she had none. Well, no, not for me, I swear it. And, of course, when she was released, she was overripe. Oh, she was fruity. Oh, what? Oh, come on, let's have it. Oh, whoops, yes. Oh, she couldn't wait for a bit. No, but no. No, I was married. Listen, married, the first man she met, never thought. Married, she was naive. That woman was naive. She married the first man she met. Didn't think, you see. Went upstairs to her bedroom for the honeymoon. She took her dress off. He put it on. She never saw him again. Yes. I'm just telling you a sad story. Toby, look over here. She'll have you. You look gullible. Look over here. You go, her. Look over at me. Don't look at her. She'll have you. She'll be hanging around the car park. Don't be stupid. Oh, she's into everything, you know. Oh, bondage. Oh, what? Barbed wire and custard and all. Oh, what? I was just telling you a sad story, yes, because... Oh, she's a killer. And though she doesn't kill, she cripples. So look over here. What, she's been in more beds than a packet of seeds. Listen. Ladies and gentlemen, I was watching you all during the interval. I was watching you all through a crack in the wall there. And I could see a lot of lovely ladies here tonight, beautiful ladies, and I thought to myself, I'll sing a song dedicated to all the lovely ladies here present, all the lovely ladies. And I thought to myself, oh, nay. Oh, nay, nay, thrice nay, and ye again, nay. And again I say nay. All the entertainers sing songs dedicated to the lovely ladies, but nobody ever gives a damn for the poor old married men. And you can almost tell them the married men is terribly sad, depleted look. A sort of down, woe-begone look. And so tonight I'm going to sing a song for the married men here present. It is, of course, a hymn. And when I sing this hymn, perhaps the ladies would like to stand in tribute. You will please yourselves. Anyway, this is a pub hymn. It's the married man's national anthem. The married man's national anthem is entitled I haven't had a bang since firework night. And don't get common, don't show us up, for God's sake. God help us. I haven't had a bang since firework night! And it's a... You know... Listen, I'm going to be accompanied for this vendetta on the harpsichord by Madame Rogers. No, Madame Roper, Madame Vere Roper, known to me as Cuddles, known to the Ministry of Road Transport as Lay-by Lil. Now, will you give me a note here, a note? Yes, yes. Oh, there's no pleasure in this, you know. I haven't got my truss on or anything, you know, it's terrible. That's it! That's it, for God's sake, keep your finger on that, quick. Before the pills wear off. All right, then. The married man's national anthem. May God be with you all. I'm married to a woman, Big Aggie is her name. From the day I said I will, I've suffered grief and pain. She talks and talks and talks and talks, and talks and talks and talks, and talks and talks and talks and talks, and talks and talks, and eats. Then she nips into the fountain, that's the pub across the street. That's where all the scandal mongers and the heavy boozers meet. It was my wife, Mrs. Sykes, and Mrs. Hardcastle. 3 wives in the fountain, each one knocking back the spout. There they sit in the fountain till it's time for chucking out. 3 old bags in the fountain, each one longing for to roam. There they sit in the fountain, too far gone to stagger home. Which one is the biggest pest? Which one will the cops arrest? Their coins they are counting, hoping they can pay the fine. Just one wife will get sentenced. One will soon be doing time. Make it mine, make it mine, make it mine. Ladies and gentlemen, a very nice stage manager just said to me, very nicely, get off. I didn't want to go and have a drink, but I couldn't, audience. We are very grateful to you, really. And Madame Roper also has asked me to say, thank you very much for having her. For those who haven't had her, she's here. So I thank you very much indeed. God bless. And up Birmingham.